Hey everyone, welcome back to the Valleyridge Farming channel. It's been a few months since we've really posted many videos, and we're hoping to get back into it a little bit here. So I guess not a ton has happened since the fall. We've kind of just been waiting for lambs for the last couple months, and so here we are. We finally got into lambing. We got our first group here out of lambing pens. They're a little noisy simply because they are still sorting each other out here. And we've got about 3 in lambing pens at the moment and 1 that's about to lamb. We've got a bit of concern about this one that's about to lamb because she's not really, she's got a bit of discharge, but it looks more, I don't know, it doesn't look normal. So we'll see what happens with her. But we've got 3 others still here in lambing pens. Our conception rates seem to be a little bit on the low side. Mostly twins with a couple triplets and a couple singles. And we did have 1 that had quints, but only 2 of them have survived, and there seems to be something wrong with them too at the moment. So I don't know what happened there. But anyways, we'll have to see what we do with that from there, because we've done everything we can for these lambs, and they just aren't getting up and drinking on their own. So up till now we've just been supplementing them with bottles, hoping that, you know, they'd get their energy up and get up and feed, but that hasn't been the case. So we'll have to see what we do with them. But apart from that, we've got about 130 probably left to lamb in this group. These ones here and all of this group here. So we're really just getting started here, and I wouldn't say we're off to a really bad start. They've been healthy so far, and that's the biggest thing. We know that quite a few people have been dealing with abortion issues, and I was a little bit nervous getting started with this whole thing after hearing that, but so far so good. So we also have on this side of the barn here, opposite of the ones that are lambing, is a small group of the same age ewes that are due to lamb. Well, we basically got 2 different groups. We got this group of 150 that are due to lamb, in all of them by the end of February. And then we've got the group on this side. They're all due to lamb in March, April. So we've got about 30 of our oldest mature ewes here. And then we've got about 65 that we retained last year for ourselves. So these are all offspring from our own flock right here. And then we've got 50 first-time replacements. So they're all about to lamb for the first time this coming March, April. So it's always exciting to see how your ewe lambs do, ones you've kept back, you've selected. Yeah, it'll be an interesting thing. So what else is new on the farm since we last seen each other? Well, we got another tractor on the farm. We worked on our gate system here on the fronts, and we'll show you a little bit of that. The whole point of these is to keep the lambs inside, and I know last year, if you'll recall, we had a lot of lambs running down the aisle and actually outside and just making a general mess of everything. So this is kind of our remedy for that. The whole point of it being, when a ewe sticks her head through to eat, this can lift up, and as soon as she goes out, it drops down, and it prevents the lambs from trying to jump up and through. And we did it on this side for just a very small group of ewes we had, and it seemed to work. So we did do it for most of this side, all the way down to the other end. So hopefully that works. So as I mentioned, we did get another tractor on the farm, and it's a real beauty. This old Z-Tor Crystal here, 8045, is actually the tractor that I grew up on my parents' farm. And It actually has been sitting for like 5 years or more in a fence row, untouched. And knowing that it was sitting there, I decided I need a tractor that it can just sit on the straw spreader. I don't have to keep switching tractors for the bale feeding wagon and the straw spreader every other day. It was a big nuisance because they don't have the same PTOs. One's 1000 RPM, the other one's 540. And it was just, especially when it gets really cold, stuff doesn't hook up and unhook good. So it's ideal to have one tractor dedicated to this and one dedicated to feeding. So that's what the hope was with this one. So it hasn't been without its problems. We had to kind of rebuild the steering on it, but for a couple $1,000s, we managed to get this tractor up and running. And so far, mostly good. We've had a few fuel issues, stuff like that. But you know what? It's gonna do the trick. It's not much to look at, but I guess it's got some sentimental value. This was the tractor I learned to drive tractors on, and some childhood memories there. It's going to be helpful to have on the farm, and all it's got to do is run. It doesn't have to look beautiful. Lambs are enjoying their newfound freedom. Once they get out in the open from being in their smaller lambing pens over there, they just like to do a little bit of jumping around. Bit of the problem we've been having is it's been so extremely cold. We've had -18 last night, and thankfully no lambs were born really through the night. It's just those really extreme colds that we don't like for lambing, because it's not an insulated barn, but as a general rule we don't have much trouble lambing in -5 to 10, but when it gets so extremely cold it's not ideal at all. All the water buckets freeze and that sort of thing, so it's just not nice. But it looks like we're gonna have a bit of a reprieve from that going forward, so we're looking forward to that. And we'll just keep everybody really well bedded and stay on top of them when they lamb so that they get up and get drinking good and all those kind of things. Anyways, guys, this is just our first video and a bit of an introduction as to what's going on around here again. And hopefully we'll keep you posted with more regular updates going forward from here, just so you can kind of keep an eye on how the lambing's going. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.